Welcome everyone. Welcome to the Ethereum Cat Herders meeting 58. So before we dive into the agenda, we have one new member joining in, Brayton. Brayton, would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, I'm Brayton from Australia. Oh yeah? Yeah, sorry, yeah, I'm Brayton from Australia. We've got some bad weather at the moment, but yeah, pretty new to Ethereum. Heard in ECH 57 that you were looking for some note takers essentially, so I thought I'd jump in and try to help out.
Happy to have you here, Brayton. Have you already filled up the form?
Yeah, I've completed the onboarding form that you sent.
Okay, that's great. Nice, thank you so very much. So
welcome, great to have new people.
Right.
Yeah, agreed.
So I have shared the agenda in the chat, and the first item on the agenda today is ECH website. I know we are very, very close to finishing up on this project. So I'll straight away pass it on to Michael to provide further updates.
All right, I'm just going to share my screen real quick. Is this displaying?
Looks good.
Yep. Okay, wonderful. All right, so I will just go through rather quickly some of the updates we've made to the website here. On the home page, the most obvious is the addition to this Ethereum ecosystem graphic, wherein it links to these respective sort of graphics here. We've added a latest video section to the homepage, so when a new video is uploaded on the Ethereum Cat Herder website, will display here, and then their respective playlists as well on these buttons. There's a missing link on the survey paw here. We've corrected that and added the URL. And then on the footer here, this is actually my first question to the group. We've added this section. So the purpose of it is to, I don't think it's actually linking to anything. No, that's my fault. It's not actually linking, but basically the purpose is to allow an area for community feedback in relation to whether it be a bug fix on the website, a feature they'd like to see, or otherwise just list feedback. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, what this was agreed on, or what it should be, is a Google form, just a fillable form that the Ethereum Cat Herders can support and host. And then we'll just link here to that form, and then update the text to reflect that, to make it a little bit more obvious as to what the function is. But point being, we've added that section on the bottom here. Moving on to the network upgrade section. We've updated the testnet. We've added that, rather. We've added a couple of usability features. So we've got these nice, pretty cards here. What we've done is slightly slowed down the speed in which they're turning as to help readability. And we've also added a pause on hover. So if I, at any point, hover over the card, it'll stop and allow the user to interact with the cards. I don't believe there were changes on the EIP resources, but we'll just go in here. Oh, yes, there were, actually. My fault. So we've moved around this button. This was previously on the bottom. And then we added the drop-down section here. So, for example, if we were to go into any one of these, we would have all of the applicable resources for each section. Moving on to the meetings page. Really, the only thing done here was we implemented the same usability upgrades. So the pause on hover is added here, and we've also slowed down the speed in which, when you're not hovering, that it flicks through different cards. The calendar, just real quick, we've added the events here based on the link that Pooja provided, and then we've also branded it to align with the current Ethereum Cat Herders overall branding. On the About Us section, we've updated so the cards don't outwardly show the bios. You have to hover over them, and it'll show the both the links that were provided in the shared document along with any bios that were provided. On the blog section, we've updated this to the list that Pooja created along with the publication date, and then these just simply link to the existing Medium Ethereum Cat Herder blog, along with the events as well. And then just the YouTube link is just a larger rendition of the homepage. I did notice this prior, so I'll fix this quick. This is just a CSS bug I've got to fix, but this all functions as expected. So that is the updates on the site. Any feedback would be great. Otherwise, I do have a question for the group, or I don't know if it's specifically for Pooja, but you did have a note where you wanted the community feedback added to the site. Did you have an expectation as to where you wanted that located?
So the community feedback, as I see that, I think the home page would be a good place where we can show what we have received, like what kind of comments we have received, like community are appreciating us from our efforts and asking us to do more something.
Okay. Do you feel it's of my opinion that maybe the most appropriate area maybe around here where we're trying to solicit people to join Ethereum Cat Herders? Maybe we put it in between this divider and this call to action where we sort of put the community feedback. That'd be okay with you?
Yeah, I mean, I was wondering if it can be in form of I don't know, crawler or browser, what do you say, is like we have all other upgrades listed, right? So we keep on scrolling and we receive next upgrade, right? So if it can be done in that form, yeah, like that.
Okay. All right. So then is it possible? Let me just grab this here real quick. What I want to do is, what I want to do is just review what content you have available to see if like filling out these cards makes sense.
Okay. So I have added that in the document that we are using, and generally speaking, it is the Twitter link of that person and the general comment that they have provided for Ethereum Cat Herders. There is only one video feed that we have as of now. Other than that, rest all of our texts. Okay,
that should work. We can get that. I would say even before the end of the week, we can have that updated and pushed to production. And again, I'll just place that here, and we'll sort of do a card section, just like you mentioned.
Sounds good.
Any other red flags or possible items that were not listed here?
So one thing that quickly caught my attention is by the testnet for London. Can you go to that page, please?
Mm-hmm.
So that is actually another testnet for London itself, like a new testnet. Michael is the next one. So it's not any upgrade. So it would be better to head it under London above Alute.
Okay, so maybe remove this altogether and just put this link underneath.
Right.
That's it. Above Alute.
Oh, above. Okay, understood.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
There was one thing, I don't know, resources adding. Okay. Oh, yeah. So fine, we agreed upon this thing, like we would be giving it to add manually, and we'll work on the PR part later for the resources, because there would be a couple of more EIPs that we would want to add it over here. I'll provide you the in the Muir Glacier blog section, I think that I saw date was missing. So that's just a small error or something. You can fix it later. Yeah, here in the second last line.
Oh, sure. Yeah, we can add that. It's not a problem.
I mean, something is missing, it quickly catches attention, right?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, it's no problem. I don't know how I missed that myself. No problem. We'll add that too.
And one major thing that I wanted to mention here is about the support thing. So I don't know, I mean, like, yeah, it's fine. We can add a Google form, but how do we want to do that? Like in the form of Google or a Google form, or is it possible to make it like in a small email and we can link it with our email? What do you think would be easier and quicker to do that?
But it's up to you guys. So it's however you want to support it. If you want a basic form and that content gets pushed to an email, that's totally fine too. Just let me know. The only reason I initially suggested a Google form is just because it seemed to be what was already being deployed. I think the survey section was a Google form. Yeah. So I didn't know if you wanted something, akin to this where it could be a little bit more free form and easier to manage.
So in the survey section, there were a couple of more forms. I'm not sure if it is displaying all of them, because there are active surveys and completed surveys. For completed surveys, I have provided you the list of reports that we have published. And for active surveys, I believe there are 2 surveys that is currently active.
So how do you want us to tackle that with, do you need an additional link here? Is that what you're saying?
Same form as a resource. Would that be easier? Like, active and completed, 2 section, and people can click whatever they want.
That's what I'm saying. So are we saying we need maybe 5 here? So there'll be like, I don't know how you want to phrase it, but like archive surveys and active surveys or something like that. So there'll be 5 total.
No. I think when we click on surveys, then it takes to that page. Just like when we click on resources.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes us to a page where we go down. So here we have like additional resources, and we click on these things, right? So
yep.
The page would be starting from here saying survey and completed survey and active survey. Obviously active is going to be on top. And when we click on active, there would be list of surveys. And if we click on completed, there will be list of surveys. I mean, obviously those are the reports, not the survey link anymore.
Okay. I will, I'll continue that with you on the Discord to iron out the details on that.
Sounds good. Anyone else, if they have any feedback or comment or anything is missing, please feel free to chime in.
Yeah, how's the getting the SSL certs installed? What else needs to be done for that?
Yep, great question. So right now, the way we're sort of going about this is it's just effectively doing. So Unvetica is hosting the site itself on our own, sort of a dummy domain, a temporary domain, and it's just forwarding everything over to the EthereumCatHerders.com.
Oh yeah, that's
simply
right.
it's just a temporary situation until we have all of the final updates published. At that point, what we'll do is add a hosting account to EthereumCatHerders.com, at which point we'll terminate the forwarding, and that will allow both the SSL to properly function, and also in the address bar, we'll see full domains. So like if I were to go to About Us, you would actually see EthereumCatHerders.com/About Us. But right now, everything is just that mask right now.
Oh, good. So once it's over there and permanent, how will updates be done to the website? Will you guys be the only ones that do that, or will we give, like, what kind of work will we do, or how will we get update, keep the system up to date and adding improvements and stuff like that?
Yeah. Another great question. And I believe the way we've got that situated now is assuming that There aren't any additional changes outside of what we've discussed today. I see no reason for those updates to be pushed to production before this weekend. And then maybe during the next, or that's right, every 2 weeks you guys do this. I'd like by next week if we could schedule like a training session to show exactly where everything is for the team. And then at that point, what we'll do is we have most of this integrated into GitHub.
Oh, great. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is there any way we can have pull requests to GitHub to do updates and stuff like that?
Yep, that's exactly how it'll function. So if you're used to that workflow, it should function in no differently.
Nice.
And what I can do is maybe I'll propose a list of dates on the existing website thread on GitHub for what my availability is for the next week or two, and maybe have the team chime in on, I'm going to use the term training day loosely, but just sort of an overview of where sort of the back end stuff is.
Yeah, it'd be nice to.
How the support will work.
I'd love to attend that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Couple of things from me. Firstly, apologies if this comes across wrong, but I may have made an error when I first allocated myself on the About Us. But would cat herders object if I were to be included in the member section? Just putting that out there.
Yeah, that is another thing that I wanted to mention it today. Yeah, I mean, I haven't added it as an agenda as such, but this is something that we were thinking about. Like generally we consider 3 to 6 months of like regular contribution. So let us know what do you think. Like I have seen Shane getting involved more than just notes taking and other activities as well, but open to other tasks.
By the powers invested in me, I hereby dub thee a cat herder.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. If you do a serious core meeting notes, one of those that qualifies, right?
Obviously, I mean, like 90 minutes notes are like really would bring you in the system. It's not that you can just document that and just move on. So that is there one thing, and we would. I mean, obviously, I would like to propose to move into the members section. That's number one, and there are a few more people who have recently started documenting notes. Maybe when we, I think a couple of them, they have already submitted, and those are all managed by Shane. So when we start collecting the reports from them, maybe we can add them to contributor section as well.
Awesome. The second thing I just wanted to say was publicly thank you to Michael, particularly for how responsive you've been to all of the various changes and requests that have come through since the initial website went up. I think you've done a great job.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, that's nice.
Especially coming from a newfound Ethereum cat herder member.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thanks for all your great work, both Michael and Shane. I know Shane has a lot of contribution in this website development. He was always there for all the calls that I had with Michael and have given his feedback for improvements. Thank you, both of you, and everyone else for the feedback that we have received during the development of this website. So I think that's it on that item. Before we move on, does anyone have any final question, comment, concern? Very well. So the next item on the agenda is events and community call. So this CoinDesk Consensus 2021, that's an event we are facilitating. We have arranged for some speakers from Ethereum side, both for execution layer and consensus layer. The announcement blog is out, and the presentation is on May 25th. For execution layer, the ETH1 projects, it's between 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. EST, and for the ETH2, the consensus layer projects, it's for 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. EST. There's another thing that I have added it here. Basically, I'm trying to get some thoughts on it. It's on a block gas limit discussion. So we have seen some discussion here and there and have received questions on what is the block gas limit, how is it set, what are the motivation for increasing or decreasing it, what are the risks associated, and so on and so forth. So in general, we feel that there is some lack of information. As a cat header, I'm hoping to curate resources on this particular topic and maybe make it available for community. We just have seen that we have a resources section on our upcoming website. So we'll add it over there for people to refer to. And also thinking of inviting some researchers to talk on the topic. But I have added this item specifically to gauge the sentiment here, like what people think of having a community call for this, like organizing a community call very similar to 1559 that we did, meaning that no decision taken, just to share information and let people get answered to questions from Ethereum community researchers and developers. Any thoughts here?
In general, I think that the community calls are a good thing. So if we have one that we think that there's any kind of demand for, I see no reason not to do one, I think would probably be the best way to say it.
Yep.
Like, does anybody have an answer to why not?
I fully agree. I think there's definitely appetite there in the community. I think what would work even better is if there were a proposed regular schedule such that people knew that these were happening. That would be a better sell as well. I'm not sure if there's any consideration as to that schedule.
Then we'd have to have like subjects on a consistent basis, though. I wonder. My initial thought would be to do on demand, and if we see that demand is high enough to create a consistent schedule for them, to then schedule in. That would kind of be my initial thought. How does that sound?
Okay, let me start with answering first question to William. Why not? Because the first reason is like this is a very controversial topic. So I want to avoid any kind of risk in terms of like, we are making decisions or we are influencing any kind of decision making. So I believe that having a community call is a very good idea in general. But before that, we should do some of our homeworks, like we can have small calls on these topics, and then we invite the broader audience or like, kind of have Q&A thing. So it's not exactly why not, but maybe we might need some time to organize these calls. Number two, having regular schedule. I would echo to William here that we do not have topic in general, but obviously if we want to talk about it, we can do that. But we would try to have at least one community call, maybe a proposal related, maybe a topic related or something like that. But to begin with, having need basis would be even my, I would agree to that.
Yeah, one of my views of the purpose of cat herders, one of the important tasks we could do is to pull the community together, especially on controversial topics like that. And if there's a particular controversial topic that we wanted to do a meeting on, to pull the community together, we could get a topic started to build consensus around it so that we could pull people in and then talk to them about how they could build consensus and communicate exactly what they want from the entire community, and talk about how falsifiability works to get other people on board and how to measure when you're succeeding at getting on people on board and stuff like that. Anyway, now I'd love to work on and be part of that, especially on controversial topics.
Yeah, that's where I'm coming from. I feel that there's no shortage of topics, controversial or otherwise, in the space. So maybe the question is to yourself, Pooja, in terms of the rationale for the call on gas limit. What are we thinking there? How is it that that's come to your attention over and above anything else that we could be talking about?
So I was reached out by some people to kind of organize a community call on this topic, although everyone is very cautious to bring this subject because there are two different groups as such. We have quite a few threads in ETH research, and I believe on Discord also people were thinking of changing the limits. Recently it has been increased. But in general, it is believed that there is lack of information, like they do not understand when and why it has to be increased or decreased. So I think I would agree to this part that as a cat herder, we should try to bring up these topics quite frequently and talk about it. I'm just wondering about the ways we should go ahead with that. Like we have to be really very, very careful about that.
So sorry, I missed that. So is there an EIP or something going on with that? Or where's a good way to get up to speed on what the community is, or all the information about that particular topic, so I can study that a bit?
Should we do a peep and eep on EIP 3382?
Is that the EIP in 3? Tell me that number again.
3382 was for the 12.5 million gas limit pre-Berlin, though.
3382. Okay, cool. Thanks.
I don't think that we've covered that one, but I mean, also just TLDR is each block has a certain amount of gas that can maximum be in that block. That's the block gas limit, and the way it's decided is basically just through minor consensus, especially due to the parties that I see on both sides. Like, they're people who generally are quite capable of having a conversation. And so I'd actually be hesitant to even put this in the controversial box, personally. That might play back into the why not question also. Like, I have a hard time seeing anybody really making a heavy controversy out of gas limit, though that might be my short-sightedness. Sometimes people are capable of controversializing many things.
That helps a lot. Thanks.
Well, we have taken up these kind of topics in past, like we did prop power, we did 1559. So this is also something very good and interesting in that terms. But I wanted to, understand how we should start and like what do people generally think about it. So even if we plan something like that, maybe 2 to 3 weeks down the line, we can start from curating resources about it and generally educating people, and then throw up the idea of having the community call. Does that sound okay to everyone?
I'm pro.
Yep, I'm the same. I guess, sorry, I don't want to push this too much, but it would be good to have an idea of what the sort of requirements, what bar needs to be met in order to trigger one of these calls. Like if it's anyone getting in touch with any cat herder, that seems quite sort of achievable if we were looking to do more of these, or if it's something more structured, I don't know.
Right.
So if we were to understand that, then that would sort of guide us as to whether or not we could be considering a regular series or not.
Yeah, right. I like this idea very much. I'm definitely going to work with you on this particular thing, that we would want to have this community call as a like a schedule based or something. Like, yes, that is something that sounds very interesting to me. I'll work with you on that. Okay. Moving on, the next item is survey and report. So recently we have been approached by one of the client developers, and they have requested us to collect some feedback from developers group of the community to understand the requirement of these developers, like what they would like to see in Ethereum clients, what are the things that they would want to be added or removed, or in terms of documentation. So we would like to take up this task. We may need support in reaching out to different user groups to collect responses. I believe William, Shane, and we are looking into this task. So if anyone interested to contribute to them, please reach out to us. This is going to be a funded activity. This is like, we are planning to take it to different group of users, right, from developers, from project people and other people. So we will need all kind of support that we can get to collect this data. So anyone interested, please reach out to William, Shane, or me. The next topic is a P-Penny. Tomorrow we are going to have a P-Penny session with Anat from the Ethereum Foundation. She's going to talk on ERC and some application layer proposals. I believe this is going to be one of a kind, because in this we are not going to talk about just one particular proposal, but it's going to be a bunch of that. And she has been working with the NFTs, so I believe it's a good opportunity for people to ask questions on ERCs and NFT if they want to, if they're curious to know anything in particular. Please do join us tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. EST. We are also planning to have include the proposals that are going in Ethereum 2.0. So there is an upgrade on the consensus layer chain. It's Altair that will be almost simultaneously as our London. So I'm hoping to get someone from E2 team to talk on the features that are being added to Ethereum 2.0 chain. Any question, comments so far?
So you said there's going to be a meeting on that. When is that?
For ERC or ETH2?
The ETH 2.0 stuff.
That possibly will be in June, maybe 1st of June. So
okay. Anyway, I'm interested. I want to be in on that.
Yeah, I'll post more information on it very soon.
Thank you.
Yeah, also interested in that.
Oh, very well. So I'm working on it. We do not have a date disclosed yet. Very soon, I'll be sharing more information on that. Moving on, the next item is ECH funding and new initiatives. So this is something that I wanted to discuss with so many people. I had a meeting with Moloch people. This time we are planning to request funding via Moloch Guild. So we have to submit the proposal before 23rd of this month. I have already shared the initial request with one of the members, but that has to go to a rigorous process. Like, it would be submitted, and after 31 days, it will be open for voting. And if voting is done, then we will be receiving funds for that. So I'm talking to ESP people also. I believe I'm going to have one more meeting this week with them. Couple of new things that I have added. I believe one of them I have listed here, Cat Blazer. So William is going to talk about it. But before that, one more thing. I'm considering this time a special, focus on social media promotion. As Shane was discussing, reaching out to community members and talking to them regularly, arranging more stuff for them. So I'm considering this kind of paid position for some time, part-time, like Cat Blazer. So that is also added in the ESP request, as well as Moloch request. So William, if you would like to go ahead and talk about Cat Blazers.
Sure. I did talk about it last time also. So I'll give kind of a brief outline here again. I've been interested in creating a part-time paid position, focusing on looking for coordination opportunities. I guess the way I think of this to myself, though I don't know if it's necessarily intuitive, is what project management or product management should look like in a decentralized ecosystem, as opposed to working inside one silo, like inside one corporation. The fact that we're operating open source in a decentralized ecosystem increases the chances that people are not necessarily aware of each other, that they might not be able to communicate or coordinate where they otherwise might have been able to, and to have an empowering presence that looks for opportunities to try and move the ecosystem forward by either collaborating or getting people the right information or anything of that sort, I think really fits into the ethos of why we made the cat herders in the first place. So I've been speaking, I spoke about it in the last call, I've been speaking with Pooja, Hudson, others about it. And we've been looking to maybe secure some funding for that also.
So just a question on that. For example, one of the things I think we need to do is there's a bunch of people out there that want to come up with a process to recover locked up funds, like those locked up in wallets and stuff like that. And pretty much it's so controversial, anyone that even attempts such gets blasted out of the water with Twitter and everything. But do you think of trying to address those kind of problems? Because I'm trying to figure out how we could pull a community together to address those kind of problems and stuff.
That is one issue that even I will call controversial. I'll give that one the controversial label. That one I'd say would be one of, I'd be interested in having a larger conversation specifically on that topic, but I mean that as a specific thing. The creation of working groups in general is something that I think is a very powerful thing to do in this position. I've been speaking, for instance, with, about trying to create a working group around getting an intermediate representation, which would be very useful to a lot of different blockchain smart contracting languages. And would make them a lot more portable across different blockchain architectures. So getting a working group of people who that would benefit together, I would consider to be a very powerful thing, because getting the right people in the right room at the right time, it makes progress that much easier and that much simpler, because they all stand to benefit from it, and they stand mutually. So just using that as an example, I'd want to have a larger conversation about anything that involves a hard fork that changes history.
Yeah, and I think we need to have some kind of repository where people that want to have the community work on something that no single company or organization or person can do it. Where's a repository where people can come together to say, we want to do this, and other people looking to do things goes and finds that list and say, oh, there's a bunch of people that want to do the same thing I do. I can jump on board and help. But anyway, we need something like that too. But and anyway,
it's interesting. That's interesting. I've been thinking of myself as a human, as like I've been thinking of this role as kind of like a human repository for that. But you're correct that there should be some kind of, notice board. Yeah, and we're working on that's worth thinking about. And having Canonizer be exactly that, where you can create a topic that says, we want the Ether community / the clients or whatever to do X, and then have everyone jump on board. And then as people say, yeah, I want that done and I'm willing to do X, they can join and support the camp and help develop that and pulling new people on board. But anyway, that's kind of one goal we have with Canonizer is being that kind of repository where if people want something done, but they need help from the rest of the community to be that kind of a place. Anyway, just a couple thoughts. We should probably coordinate and work together on something like that, possibly. Let's see. There was one thing that I actually kind of wanted to put in on the funding and new initiatives topic, Pooja. Was there anything else you wanted to say?
Oh yeah, just one last thing. Like if anybody else has any idea and they think that Cat Header should start as an initiative, please reach out to us. We are looking for more and more tasks. We are looking for more resources. And as we have something good, we can reach out to people who can fund us. Now community needs our help more than ever. So please feel free to reach us. So that's, yeah. Please go ahead.
So on funding and new initiatives, I've been thinking there are other kind of grassroots funding operations in this space. Should we be reaching out to them, like say Clear.fund, or putting more work into the Gitcoin grants? I would assume the next Gitcoin grants round is next month, if I'm not mistaken. But should we be putting more efforts into trying to leverage either platforms that we're not on yet, more effectively, or something like Gitcoin where technically we're there, but we don't really have a presence?
I think that would be a great idea. This time we have to try to leverage all the resources that we have. Like we have so many social media accounts that we haven't been able to use it up to the full extent. Even people are there to fund us. Like we go out to people more and more. We tell us what we are doing, and if they need any more help, we are there to help. So I think we should try to leverage all resources at our disposal.
So then, as an action item to myself, I'm going to try and research what else is out there. Maybe I'll try to present findings in the next meeting about things that I think are good avenues that we should be looking into.
Very well. Thank you so very much, William.
Cool.
Shane, I saw you muting. Was that like unintentional, or you were trying to say something?
Nope, no worries.
Great. Okay, so we have this meeting with ESP people this week. If anyone has any thought they would like to put into, or maybe to be added for the consideration of funding, to reach out to me, and we'll try to work on that. Moving on, meeting notes. So I believe this time we have all the meeting notes done for merge implementers, all core dev meeting, X2 implementers, and EIP IP meeting. Is there anyone who have documented the notes and would like to go with the summary? How much time do we have? Yes, we do have time. So if you can want to go with the quick summary, please. So I had just one question on one of the earlier meeting. Unfortunately, I did not see the pull request for the action. If you have any information on all-core dev meeting 110.
Oh, I do. So we had, who was it? One moment. I think it was Joel working on those notes. He is in the process of putting together the PR as we speak. I've seen the notes that he's prepared. It's ready to go.
That sounds good. Thank you so much. So the next one task that is on me, I have to add all these people who have documented notes recently to the contributors access to our Discord channel, so that they can know about the calendar, and whatever communication we have to do, we can do it there. Okay. Anyone wants to talk anything more on the meeting notes section before we move on? Oh, very well. One last thing on this topic. Today's meeting, the Ethereum Cat Herders meeting, it was assigned to a new girl, but unfortunately I did not hear back from her. So would it be possible for Brent and Jim to document these notes?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay, sure. Thank you so very much. Moving on, the next item is discuss and close the ECH GitHub issues and PRs. So on PM side, Shane, if you can add the name of the resource who is working on meeting number 110, so that we can move towards closure of that issue.
Yeah, will do.
We don't want to keep it open for a long time, so that people don't get a wrong impression that it is still open and they apply for it, right?
Yep.
That's it. On funding side, I believe there is only one issue open. I'll try to close it as soon as possible. And other than that, it looks pretty good. We're doing great. We are on time. On the last item of the agenda today is review of outstanding action items from the previous meeting. I believe there are only 2 decisions, and Vatica will make the discussed updates, remove LLVM from the agenda for the next meeting. It has already been done. That's it from the agenda side. Does anyone have anything else to bring up they want to talk about? Cool, we're making good progress. Thank you everyone for all good work you guys are doing.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you everyone. See you all in 2 weeks. Have a great one.
Yep. Thank
You
you.
too.